to you. I am Karine Rayson from the Crew Coach on the Wellbeing project. I thought it'd be quite fitting, being the beginning of the year, to share with you my very simple 4-step process that I use when I'm actually setting goals. So the first thing is that, of course, you want to make your goals specific. You cannot set a goal like, I want to lose weight, or I want to make more money, or I want to read more books. It's not detailed enough. Broad goals equals weakened commitments. I know if you want to achieve a goal, you have to get really specific in what it is that you want to achieve. For example, if you want to lose weight, how many kilos do you want to lose? Or what dress size do you want to fit into? Do you want to read more books? How many books do you want to read? So if you are specific, then it's going to increase your ability to achieve that goal over a vague goal. The next thing, once you have detailed your goal, is to physically write it down. Now, I know that we are constantly on our mobile devices and we might have notes that we write down our to-do list in, but there have been so many studies to talk about the importance of writing down your goals. A study that I read is that if you write down your goals, like physically with a pen and paper, you are likely to increase your chances of achieving your goals by 40%. That is huge. So the third step of goal setting is to make sure you're checking in with your goals. There's no point setting a goal at the beginning of the year and just forgetting about it. If you revisit your goal, it's not only going to keep it fresh, but it's going to hold you accountable. So in my morning routine, I actually write down my goals, and every day I am checking in with what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And you can do this in so many ways, from journaling to using a project management tool, or by having your goals stuck up on your mirror. You can even create a vision board. And then, of course, my final part of goal setting is to evaluate your progress. You cannot just hope for the best. You need to be tracking how you are progressing towards that goal. And this isn't about casting judgment upon yourself, like I'm succeeding or I'm failing. It has nothing to do with that. It's just to say, okay, I'm doing really well in this area. I'm going to continue doing more of that. Or, hey, this isn't really working out. How can I change up my strategy so that I can achieve my goal? So it's okay to pivot. You don't need to have a set goal and a set path. It's about the journey and how you're going to reach your end goal. Because if you put that pressure on yourself and if you're unable to measure it, then you're going to give up. So if you have previously struggled to achieve your goals, then the first thing you want to do is you want to spend more time uncovering the real reason why you're actually not progressing towards your goals. By doing this, you're going to uncover any resistance or obstacles. And if you can pinpoint the exact reason why, then you'll be able to work through it and move forward. So for example, if you were someone who wanted to lose weight this year and you wanted to start getting healthy, and one of your strategies to do that was to start doing yoga, then you maybe would book a class online. But when it comes down to the time of actually going to the yoga class, something happens and you cancel. What you actually want to do is start reflecting or journaling out or having a conversation with someone your thoughts and feelings that are associated with actually going to yoga. And it's probably not a one-off occurrence that you would do this, but if you start noticing a pattern where you are not committing to your goals, that is your cue to look at the reason why you're resisting to committing to that action. You really want to dig deep to the root cause of what is actually going on. Sometimes we let our excuses take over our progress towards our goals, and there's probably a deeper reason that is going on behind the scenes. And when you actually shine a light on what it is, then you can start working on that rather than just listening to your excuses. So take some time in the moment when you actually don't feel like doing the thing that you said you were going to do. Really get to the bottom root cause of what the belief behind that is. There's so many reasons why we're either taking action or not taking action. And once you become aware of it, it's so much easier to work through it. And then don't forget, the secret sauce for actually being able to achieve your goals is to focus on habit formation rather than the destination. I think a lot of people are really heavily focused on the actual thing they want to achieve rather than who they need to become in the process. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when we become the person who has the things that we're trying to achieve, reality is forced to catch up with us. So what you really want to do is focus on who you need to be while looking at your bigger vision, and that is your end result, your end goal, where you want to be. So if we think about a health goal, rather than constantly focusing on the fact that I want to lose weight and just watching everything that you consume, how many calories are in a particular food source, it is really important when it comes to the actual strategy to start thinking about, okay, so I'm going to start seeing myself and acting as if I was already someone who was at that goal. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about integrating the entirety of the process into your life. Maybe I want to have more work-life balance this year, and I understand logically that that is something that I'm heading towards, but the fastest way that I'm going to get there is to integrate those habits and strategies into my life today and acting if that is the thing that I want and already have. Because then what it's going to do is allow my brain to associate itself with being someone who has work-life balance. So to summarize, you want to know and focus on what it is that you want in your life and become that person who actually can achieve that, who has that, but then also don't get fixated on a particular strategy or tip or tool, because then what happens is we associate ourselves with failing. If that particular strategy, tip or tool didn't work, you really want to let go of how something is going to be achieved and then find a strategy that is more workable for you. Once you become really hyper aware of where you are, who you're trying to be, and what it is that you're trying to achieve, then that will guide you to the next step. Another useful strategy is to announce your goals amongst your loved ones. By putting skin in the game, it really does create a whole new level of momentum and motivation, as well as accountability. So it's just about going out and declaring exactly what it is that you want, because that will just put so much more onus on you to actually go out there and achieve it. And then my final thing is you have to start changing a relationship with failure. I've mentioned it a couple of times in this talk to you today. It's just about going out and declaring exactly what it is that you want, because that will just put so much more onus on you to actually go out there and achieve it. And then my final thing is you have to start changing a relationship with failure. I've mentioned it a few times in this talk to you today, but there is no one strategy, tip, or tool. There is so many that you can achieve, whatever your goal is. If you are fixated on one particular path to achieving your goals, and if that doesn't work, and then you feel like a failure, of course you're not going to want to achieve your goals or pick yourself up and try again. You have to get yourself to the point where it's like, okay, so I want to achieve this and I'm going to try it this way, and if it doesn't work, then I'm going to try something else. You just have to keep going and going until you ultimately find the thing that does work for you. Let's be honest, none of us are perfect, even the most successful person in the world. We all have failures, but it really depends on how we look at those failures. So for me, I see failure as a lesson, a stepping stone to success. Rather than beating myself up, I look at innovative strategies that I can use to get myself to where I want to be. If you fall off the wagon and you start engaging in negative self-talk, like, what's the point? I'm not worthy, or I'm a failure, you will stay in a vicious cycle of self-defeat, and no one wants that. You need to stop talking to yourself like that and understand that it has nothing to do with your worth and that you can find a way. You just have to be patient and persistent and resilient. All right, so let's enter this new year with a bang. What is your goal? Obviously, one of my tips was that you need to declare it. So I want you to get in touch and share with me what is the one big goal that you're working towards at this present moment. And then to let you know again that I have my workshop coming up on the 18th of January. If you would like to be part of that workshop, we're going to look at amazing strategy, tools, and resources that you can use to help you have an amazing 2022. I'll see you next time. Bye.